Shalom, Israel. Shalom. It's your boy Zacharias coming at you with another one. And I just want to give all praise to our power, YAHAWASHI, and Barakathum to all the Akim and Akwats out there learning, all the elders of Israel back on this earth, teaching this truth and truth and sincerity. And I want to say shalom to the elect that may not be in this truth yet, but still learning, still understanding what it is to even become an Israelite and stuff like that. And also, we're going to touch on a couple of things, a lot of controversy going around, a lot of, nonsense. And what we got to realize is that anything that happens, we always got to bring it back biblically. It was a time in the book of Joshua, I believe it was like the 10th chapter, that I believe Manasseh, Zebulon, and Asher was building a shrine. So the 9 tribes was like, yo, listen, we got to go kill these dudes off because they about to build an altar for Baal. So the 9 tribes basically was about to get him. And the elders of Israel under the Joshua command ran up, yo, what's going on? We got 9 tribes about to kill y'all. What's going on? And all it was they was building an altar for the Lord because where they were located, it was easy for them to meet up and worship there instead of going to Jerusalem. And when they heard that, they all pat each other in the back, all shalom each other. And these are things where we take, right, these stories, we implement it in our lives now, right? If we really believe we're Israelites, if we really believe we're in the truth, why not implement some of these things that happened to our forefathers and use it now? Communication. A lot of these things could be ended by one phone call. Hey, brother, what's going on? XYZ. Okay, let's meet up. And off the grid. Because if we act like how if our ancestors act like how we act, I should say, then them 3 tribes have been eliminated. Then there have been the 9 tribes of Israel. So we got to start using and exercising what we read, not just reading our precepts. Start implementing it, right? Even to, I see brothers bashing, and this is going to be a little controversial, but I don't care. I'm going to speak on it because I see it, right? With this Israelite sister that died, Joy Morgan, right? Everyone rags on the leadership of YAHAWASHI. And I'm not jumping, I'm not a member, I'm calling it based on the law. Everybody wants to ignore the fact that this chick was doing and committing adultery, which is a punishable offense by death in our Constitution. And focus on the fact that the leadership is wicked. And say, okay, the brothers are Hamite, whatever. We don't even know. But let's go with that for a second. Brothers right now are married to heathens. Is it okay to sleep with their wives? Or their husbands? No. So even let's say we go with the notion that brothers are heathen, you still can't sleep with the man. You still commit adultery. And guess what? The brother was married to an Israelite woman. So her, being an Israelite, was sleeping with an Israelite, a Salaki, was sleeping with a husband of an Israelite daughter Zion. She didn't care. Right? Think about it. She's coming every Saturday, seeing that sister, Shalom, Most High Christ, and fucking her man, Salaki, behind closed doors. And everybody knows them brothers teach the Lord's statute commands. They beat that drum. So how are we going to just look past this sister's sin and blame leadership? And all you got to do is read the records again. Book of Joshua, 7th chapter. Judite brother went, stole the stuff from the Babylonians, committed idolatry. 36 Hebrews died for that brother's actions. Joshua rent his garment. What's going on? The Lord said, listen, Israel sinned on me. Then they went back, realized the brother took them things he was supposed to take, and the brother was put to death. Did anyone say Joshua's wicked? Joshua got the 36 men killed? No. They realized the brother broke the law. And adultery, and laying with a man of mankind is all punishable by death. We're under grace, but Romans 6 will tell you the wages of sin is death. And the Lord put her to death. And I'm saying it because I had family members that died as close to me, and I can say it too. So I'm not talking bad about someone that passed away, right? And it's wicked to come at them brothers because here's the thing. Them brothers can't speak like how I'm speaking about it because they caught up in legality. The family could sue them for defamation of character and they could get jammed up. But that's what it really is. You need to stop doing that, man. That's foul. It's disgusting to watch. And brothers threaten brothers. Brothers, you need to repent because none of y'all could keep the Day of Atonement with that mindset. None of y'all. If you want the Lord to forgive you, you got to forgive other people. That's how it goes. All right, so I'm going to jump into it right now. This basically is going to be a part 2 because I didn't ramble on longer than I even wanted to. And it's basically, are you part of a Judite order, right? And I'm going to segue into that, and I'm going to hit y'all the precept as well, what I'm getting into. All right, got to use this Fair Use Act, right? Basically, disclaimer, this is for educational purposes and for teaching, right? This is not for financial gain whatsoever. All right, so I'm going to start off with 2 Samuel chapter 23, verse 3, and it reads, "The God of Israel said, the rock of Israel spake to me, he that ruleth over men must be just, must be just, must be just, ruling in the fear of our power of God." Right? So that's basically what I was even rambling about prior to this precept being coming out now. And that's basically how, if you are someone, a shepherd over sheep, you have to rule just. You cannot rule through emotion. All right, keep beating that drum. But what I'm getting into, basically, are you part of a Judite night, is I'm going to show you how movies are basically part of our lives. And why they do this is because they understand we don't know our history. So what I'm gonna go and show you how that movie, a $3 trillion movie, Star Wars, is your history. And I'm gonna show you the correlations right here in a 2-part series. It's gonna be half and half. But first, I'm gonna show you the word Judah and Jedi. Do you see the similarities with these words? Remember, vowels are interchangeable, right? Judah, Jedi, it's the same word. The J and the D, the structure of the word is intact. When you want to understand words like Chemith and Hamith, when you look at a word, look at the structure of the word. And the vowels are just changed. The E, the I, that's how they do wordplay and sorcery. That's a topic for a different day. All right, without further ado, I'm going to jump into it, show you our clip, bring out a precept, bring out some history, and we're going to dive into it. All right, take it up.
Our time has come. For 300 years, we prepared, we grew stronger. While you rested in your cradle of power, believing your people were safe and protected. Powers of the dark side have blinded you. You assumed no force could challenge you. And now, finally, we have returned. You were deceived. And now your republic shall fall.
See, that's the temple being destroyed. When this happened? Under King Nebuchadnezzar. That was the first temple being destroyed. We'll read it in the scriptures. We got 2 Kings chapter 25, verse 1, and it reads, "And it came to pass in the 9th year of his reign, in the 10th month, in the 10th day of the month," which is close to our day of Peru, "that Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came, he and all his hosts," which you just seen, "against Jerusalem, and pitched against it. And they built forts against it round about." Same thing the Romans did in 70 AD. "And the city was besieged unto the 11th year of King Zedekiah. And on the 9th day of the 4th month, the famine prevailed in the city, and there was no bread for the people of the land." Right? I'm going to raise it up a little bit now. And the city was broken up, and the men of war fled by night by the way of the gates between the two walls, which is by the king's garden. Now the Chaldees were against the city round about. The king went the way towards the plain, right? So what I'm showing you is that what George Lucas did was he just threw in cinematography and all that other stuff. He's telling your story, right? You really think that overgrown hamster could make a movie like that to make $3 trillion? I'm going to show you how it's all going to tie in, right? Now, check another clip. Remember, our kingdom, our temple was destroyed. Now we're going to bring it down to when it was restored, and then the Maccabees came, and then now Christ is out there. Now I can't show you everything because that'll be like a 3-hour video. I'm showing you snippets of our history, and I'm going to show you how they implement it. Now watch this. This is the second time the kingdom was destroyed, or the temple, the Judite temple.
Who could have done this?
Jedi temple, if you want to call it that.
I have recalibrated the code, warning all surviving Jedi to stay away.
For the clones to discover the recalibration, a long time it will take.
He says, after, if you know anything about Star Wars, that's basically the temple, the Jedi temple being destroyed, right? They said a signal out, recalibrate. No Jedi, no Judite to return to the temple. Let's see where we're going to find that scripture. Luke chapter 21, verse 20. And when he shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then the desolation therefore is nigh. Then let them which are in Judah flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter therefore. Don't return back. This place is destroyed. The temple is destroyed. Christ has given them a signal. Stay out there. Don't return. What you just watched. These be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. Right? And while I'm thinking, I'm reading, I think. So sometimes I'll, make a little error here and there. But what I'm getting to is that what you're seeing is a story. And anyone knows Star Wars is basically, you're going to see the whole lineage of Israel. The wars, their fall, their rise, their infiltration, everything. Right? Now, if you know anything about Israel's timeline, the temple was destroyed twice. If you know anything about Star Wars, the Jedi temple was destroyed twice. Now, what Christ said, flee into the mountains, which is Africa, which is basically, we were in Northeast Africa, so flee Southwest Africa, right? As we fled there, we made our ways up to Spain and Portugal, and we became knights, and we had temples and castles and whatnot. And while we were there, guess who came to fight us? Esau, Edom. The Siths against the Judites or the Jedi. As you can see, you're seeing black people with crowns on castles and fighting off these people. Let's see what they call them. Wild men and Moors, tapestry, German, probably Stroberg, right? Which is basically 1400 Boston Museum of Fine Arts. So this is in the arts. So why they never taught us this in school, right? Why they never said, hey, black people, you guys came from royalty and you guys would be kings and queens. No, they tell you monkeys in the jungle. Because if you know someone's history, you could control them. You cannot tell a lie if you don't know the truth. Now watch more of this. This is them again. See? Coming in with the T. Christians fighting the Moors. That scarf right here, that's a war scarf. That's them conquering us, killing us, executing us. Now, if you know anything about that history back then, you're going to see it's a timeline. These things happen, right, through basically the 1400s when they're reclaiming power back on the earth. Now, this is a book, Babylon the Timbuktu, and I'm going to show you how everything correlates. The expulsion of the Jews from Spain and Portugal. It was AD 1492, January 2nd, when the Moorish hold of Granada surrendered. So all these kingdoms that we had started to surrender, right? Under King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella. I'm going to skip down a little bit. The reason given for the expulsion of the Jews was that it was thought that they corrupted the Moranos, which was basically black Jews, converted to Christianity by privately encouraging them in disloyalty to Christianity, right? This ultimatum expired August 1st, 1492, and then the Jews didn't leave until August 2nd, 1492. This date is of strange coincidence. The day was the 9th of Ab, the feast, the fast day, which is reminiscence of the destruction of the first and second temples, which we just saw, right? Now, here's the thing. After they said we conquered them, right? Here's what they made a decree on. Let's hunt them down. Now, let's see if this coincides with the Judite and the Jedi order.
And the Jedi rebellion has been foiled.
What's happened?
The Chancellor's been elaborating on a plot by the Jedi to overthrow the Senate.
The remaining Jedi will be hunted down and defeated.
Right? Now hit the scriptures. Lamentations chapter 4 verse 18. They hunt our steps that we cannot go into our streets. Our end is near. Our days are fulfilled. For our end is come. Just like I was in Jerusalem, just like I was in Babylon, just like I was in the Spanish Inquisition, which I'm going to segue to. And that's what you saw in Star Wars, is what they did in real life. I'm going to the same book, Babylon Timbuktu, right? In the year 1547, the Papal Office authorized to establish the system of the Inquisition in Portugal. The word Inquisition means inquiry or investigation, right? Which is who, why, where, how. Who would they investigate, and why, where, and how? The Inquisition consisted of a tribunal of religious judges. Its purpose was to investigate and purge all persons who questioned certain Christian principles. Although some white Portuguese Christians suffered at the hands of the Inquisition, the system was mainly directed against the new Christians, the secret black Jews. Let's go to page 129 now. I'm going to start down here. They interfered in private affairs and individuals. They intimidated and coerced individuals to inform on their neighbors. They employed a wide variety of continuous horrendous tortures, including public shows of burning human beings at the stake. And in order to satisfy their desires for punishment of heretics, they sought out not only the living, but also the dead. Garcia de Orta, which is a Hispanic person we call today when people say, Northern Kingdom, not Jews. I don't get it. A Jew of Portugal was discovered to have been a secret Jew. His body was dug up from the grave and burned by the Inquisition. Now, they dug this man's grave up because he was being a Jew, which is an Israelite. The Jew is from the word Judah. That's why I said, are you part of the Judite order? In another case, a Jewish woman, an Israelite woman, by the name of Olivera de Campo, was indicted and tortured, indicted and tortured for 2 years in order to elicit a confession for her, from her. The charges against her were not eating pork. For you Christians that said the laws are done away with, why were they killing this woman for eating pork? This wasn't 1,000 years ago. This is 1547. This is like 400 years ago. And putting clean linen on the Saturday, which is a Shabbat, right? According to this woman, these charges were not heretical practices. She wanted to be clean, and pork made her sick, which it does me. Whenever the Christian Jews could escape from Spain and Portugal beyond the reach of the Inquisition, they threw off the guise of Christianity and practiced Judaism, which is their heritage and culture, which is Israelite culture, openly, as they did in Turkey. Now, what you gotta understand is this. Why is this left out of history? And where did those slaves go? Right? A lot of those slaves, believe it or not, were sold in the transatlantic slave trade. What people don't understand is Christianity was constructed in order to sell and capture and do whatever they want to do to the real Jews, the Israelites. That is the construct of Christianity. That's why they teach you're Hamites, you're Cush, you're cursed. The dark skin you have is a curse the Lord put on you. That's why they teach that. That's why they teach you're a Gentile. It's because the people that read the Bible could say, yeah, they're Cushites. They're basically servants of servants. And they felt okay to treat you, kill you, rape, and rob. That's why Christianity was constructed. Do you get it? That's why they tell you the laws are done away with. Because the laws and statutes put you under the order of your heritage. That's the purpose of it. And I'm going to show you how they put it again in Star Wars. Watch this.
Inquisitors served the Empire to hunt down the galaxy's Force users and the remnants of the Jedi relentlessly. But who were these dark servants? The Inquisitors were formed shortly after Palpatine's rise to power. Palpatine, knowing that not all Jedi were killed during Order 66 and the Purge, feared that they would come back to end his reign, on the army or navy. It's unclear how many Inquisitors there were active under the Empire. The Inquisitors also used Imperial academies to discover anyone with Force-sensitive abilities. They would then be taken and put into training to become a servant of the Emperor, or if they resisted, they would be killed to stop them using their abilities against the Empire. The Inquisitors were also responsible for discovering ancient Jedi sites, such as temples or libraries. They did not want any would-be Jedi Force sensitives learning the knowledge they contained, and the Inquisitors themselves also studied the Jedi secrets to better understand their enemies.
Doesn't that happen today? You got apologists coming around, questioning us, asking us questions. A lot of these dudes are Masons, by the way. And I could tell you, because my grandfather was a Mason. My uncle was a Mason. That shit runs deep in my blood. When you see people do stuff like this, you know, do that. But that's what these guys are. They're part of the Inquisition. That Spanish Inquisition never died. It just went on the ground and basically came out in different forms. A lot of them are professors. A lot of them are teaching school. A lot of them in different organizations. Some of them are senators. They have infiltrated the system, monitoring us, watching to see who's learning, what level that they are. That's why they learn our secrets. They have our understanding, but not the full truth, because the Lord has given us a better understanding. But what they're doing is monitoring us. That's why they gotta basically say, yeah, these guys are terrorists, and basically come after us, because there's no other option for them at that point in time. This truth is too big. It's blowing off the box of anything else, because everyone's putting two and two together and realize, yeah, we Israel, right? But being Israel means nothing if you don't follow the order of being Israelite. And now, as we come into this time that we're in, it's basically them saying, well, how are we going to basically suppress this thing that's basically blown out the box? Which they can't, right? What you're seeing in that Inquisition is what's happening today. They do the same thing. They set people up. They infiltrate. They go into these camps, right? You have to use wisdom. Put your emotions at the core of basically humility, and raise your logic and factual understanding of what's going on. Don't be jumping to every little thing. That's what they want you to do. They want you to be emotional. They want to be able to press a button and get you riled up. Nah, you're not getting riled up, right? You got to have discipline to suppress that and understand the bigger picture, right? But on a lighter note, the Passover's coming. Just want to say happy Pesach to everybody out there. We just celebrated this week, next week, 2 weeks, right? All praise to our power. This is the day we were delivered from a real Hamite that was killed over there in Egypt. And we have pillars, the Solomon pillars, as a memorial for us crossing the Red Sea. There's actually a grave site of actual chariots from the Egyptians underground to this day. Some people say, "Oh, you're just making it up." No, we have tangible proof that actually happened. Not to mention the Bible says it happened, and that's the only proof we need. Anyway, With that, brothers and sisters, love you. Hope y'all got something out of this. You know, stay in this truth, stay in the spirit. And again, happy feast day, happy Passover, and all praise to our power. YAHAWASHI YAHAWAH. Love y'all. See y'all on the next one, if it be God's will. Shalom.